Hello, everyone. I'm excited to introduce our next speaker, Molly Statz, Director of Strategic Partnerships at Lucky Orange. ShipBob and Lucky Orange partner to improve conversion rates to make happier customers. Lucky Orange elevates the pre-purchase experience by providing you with the data you need to optimize your website experience, while ShipBob delivers a seamless post-purchase experience through delivery. But with that, I will pass it over to you, Molly.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining today. I'm excited to be here with everyone, and it's great to be able to talk to you post Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'll introduce myself. My name is Molly Statz. I am the Director of Strategic Partnerships here at Lucky Orange. And like Katie said, I'm happy to spend some time with you guys today just talking through what you can do now that Black Friday, Cyber Monday is over and all the different activities that have gone on. So for those of you not familiar, Lucky Orange is a conversion rate optimization toolkit. We serve businesses of all sizes, especially focusing in on the e-commerce market, those all the way from mom and pop shops all the way up to Fortune 100 companies. So anyone that's really looking to monetize their business can really use Lucky Orange and see the value of it. So let's dive in and get started a little bit, and let's talk about what segmentation is and why it matters. A lot of this, you guys will probably look at me and say, yeah, like no duh, but humor me for a moment because I think it's really important that we kind of set ground rules and talk about the basics. Oops, sorry. Getting a little ahead of myself here. So let's talk about the basics for a second. What is segmentation? It's really focused on identifying visitors and different segments and cohorts of those visitors. And that can look like a bunch of different things. Maybe you care about geographical regions of the world. So say you care about, what country people are coming from. That can be a way to segment visitors. You can also do it by UTM sources. So maybe you're running Google PPC ads, or maybe you're running LinkedIn ads, or maybe you traditionally see a lot of traffic coming from your blog. Those can definitely be sources you can segment your visitors by. Also, different sources as far as, like I was mentioning, the ads. Are you having them come from Instagram, Google PPC? Really narrowing down to what audience you're looking for. Another area that I think we can tend to forget sometimes is when you're on your website, you may want to segment your visitors by who converted or who didn't, or who converted on certain topics or certain products and who didn't convert on those products. This can really help you dive in and get a better understanding of what's happening on your website. So basic first steps of segmentation is just deciding what you want to segment by. What matters most to you guys, whether it's region of the world, whether it's traffic source, or does it matter you want to see what visitors are converting, not converting? All can be good options. It really just depends on your business. The next thing I want to talk to you about is what good does segmentation do? Like, what is it to help you achieve? And I think there's a lot of different things that, again, can be looked, but is good, especially if you're working in teams of 1 to 2 or teams of 5 to 10 to 20. Having segmentation and understanding what's happening on your website, especially coming off of holidays like Black Friday and Cyber Monday, can really lead you to future next steps and campaigns. So for instance, where do you allocate your marketing budget? How do you spend your money if you don't understand what traffic sources are converting, what visitors or cohorts of your visitors are most profitable for your business? Also understanding what segment of your visitors has the highest AOV. Obviously, the goal is to increase the AOV of your customers and the different people coming to your websites. So really segmenting to understand where you get the most bang for your buck on your budget. It's also, to the contrary, where are you not seeing good returns on that? And you can adjust the budget accordingly. The next would really be focusing your advertising efforts. So if you understand what your visitors are looking for when they come to your website, if you say are running Facebook ads, we'll actually dive into an example a little bit later that we'll talk a little bit about segmenting based on advertising campaign. But if you want to focus your advertising efforts, you really need to understand what those visitors coming from those advertising campaigns are most interested in. So for example, your Google PPC efforts, you can help inform the content that goes into those Google PPC ads if you understand what those visitors coming from your website are most interested in. Also, it helps you set up for what's next. So again, kind of like your budget, kind of like your advertising efforts, what are you going to focus on? What areas of your products are you going to focus on and highlight in your different areas? And what products are really resonating with your consumers? You have to understand this. You have to segment your visitors to really understand and give you that clear direction of what can happen next. And again, set yourself up for long-term success. So by having really strong segmentation and understanding what's important to you and your business can help you skyrocket into the next level and say, this is what's helping my business be successful. And again, this is what's helping my business not be successful. So I know we just came off of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So let's take a second to analyze what happened, right? You've seen a lot of traffic to your website. You have a lot of information about the customers and what they purchased and what they didn't purchase and what products typically went together. It's also interesting that e-commerce sales increased by 8.5% this year, while in-store sales only increased by 1.1%. Obviously, that's not shocking to anyone sitting on this call because you're focused on e-commerce. But with that in mind, you don't have to just take a look at Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Any time of year that's important to you guys can really help you understand what's happening with your visitors and what's important to your visitors on your website. So, some interesting things to look at as we consider Black Friday, Cyber Monday specifically. Did you see customers coming in from a new channel? All of a sudden, you were really focused on acquiring customers through potentially a TikTok influencer, or you ran a lot of different ads on Facebook. But did you see that you were getting a lot of different traffic from Instagram potentially? It's interesting to segment the visitors and understand where they're coming from and what they liked, because maybe this is an audience you didn't know or an area you didn't know you should be aware of. And you can really double down in marketing efforts from that moving forward. Did you also see an area that you were expecting to perform really well or a segment? So say, for example, you were expecting your audience in Canada to really come in and really be interested in the boots you were selling this year, and they just weren't. Take a time to look at that audience, see other things they may have purchased, and really retarget and rethink about, one, is that audience the right audience for you? And two, maybe that audience is interested in something that isn't available on your website, or you could look to expand your product line based on this. Another really helpful way to supplement your segmentation is watching session recordings of customers that converted versus those who didn't convert it. For instance, let's say during Black Friday, you ran a big promo and everyone had to use a promo code of save 20 to save 20% off. Did you notice that most of your customers that were checking out were using that promo code? That could tell you maybe promo codes are something your audience is really interested in. Or did you also notice that no one was using your promo code? Maybe that tells you that this audience or your audience isn't as price conscious, so you could try other strategies moving forward. By really narrowing down your audience specifically on converted versus non-converted, also understanding their average order value can really help you dive into your future campaigns and your next busy season. Because we all know Black Friday, Cyber Monday isn't the only time of year you can sell products. Depending on what you're selling, you can use these principles to your busy time. So for instance, if you sell backpacks and back to school is your busy time, take these findings and apply that there as well. And this next example, I know I mentioned earlier, I'm going to talk about a specific scenario where a business that sells predominantly jeans was running ads on Facebook. They noticed after looking at their session recordings that a lot of their visitors, while they thought were interested in their jeans and spent some time looking at their jeans, maybe in fact weren't actually interested in them. So let's take a look. Here's a session recording. Here's a session recording of a visitor that came to your website from a Facebook ad. Your Facebook ad was highlighting these Sean brand of jeans, and it obviously did well enough to get your visitor to come to the website. And that's great. You're like, awesome, my Facebook ads are working. I can see that it's very interested. And this person obviously seems to be spending time, but they're not instantly clicking on the add to cart or buy it now. On your website, though, you have a section called You May Also Like, which is great. And this is also new product lines you're interested in trying because traditionally you have not sold additional products outside of your jeans. But you notice that this particular customer, and as you come to find out, more customers are actually coming from Facebook clicking on your shirts. and they're interested in your shirts, that's really interesting. What can you do with this information if you're segmenting your Facebook traffic? Maybe instead of running your Facebook ads in the future that just focus on your men's jeans, maybe you can actually add more ads that focus copy and creative on your shirts and see how that performs. This is just one really real world example that can kind of allow you to see, hey, I originally thought my Facebook ad should focus all of my jeans. But then when I take a second, segment my audience from Facebook to understand a little bit more about what they're doing on my website, I actually see they're more interested in the jean or in the shirts than they are the jeans. This can be really beneficial for you as you move forward in your Facebook campaigns or others. So let's talk about the kind of conclusion, if you will, of segmentation and why it matters, because that's not all. You need to really look between your segments and understand how they overlap. Do your segments have similar characteristics? Do those coming in from Canada and Mexico like similar things, or their interest in wants on your website completely different? More importantly than what your segment does like sometimes is what your segment doesn't like. So again, in this last example you saw, maybe we thought they were super interested in jeans and we were trying the new product line of introducing shirts onto our website. And we actually saw that this segment really likes it and is not as interested in jeans. That can help you understand how you expand your product line and what you offer to your customers. Also, what other segments have historically been attracted to this? So if you notice that your Instagram audience also has been more attracted recently to the shirts, you can really start to understand both your product line and your audiences and save the jean promotion, maybe say for Google PPC, who might be more interested and attracted to this. So I know we talked through a lot of different scenarios, but I will leave it now. And I know we have a couple minutes left and I can open it up for questions if anyone has any questions. But I think the major takeaways here is segmentation matters. You can't treat all of your customers exactly the same. It just doesn't work like that. They have very different needs and interests. And it really can, just by doing a little bit, can make big differences in what you do and the success of your different channels. So with that, I'll also have my contact information here if anyone wants to reach out specifically to understand more about anything we talked about or any more about Lucky Orange. But with that, I'll go ahead and stop sharing the screen and kick it back over to Katie if there was any questions that came in the chat or if anyone has any other questions that I can help answer in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, so it looks like we do have a question in the chat
Sure.
from Maureen. How does an organization utilize segmentation to deduce simpler groups/categories of users and buyers?
Maureen, I think that's a great question and one I think we also continue to struggle with. I think my recommendation from that would be start at a very high level. So if you start at understanding geographic region of the world, okay, you understand the geographic region of the world that's really interested is, like I said, the United States. From there, what else are you noticing about those visitors? Are they clicking on a certain item? Are you seeing an average checkout value of a certain event? Are you seeing that most people from the United States are, buying your pink fuzzy chair? From there, you can say, okay, the category is United States, that they purchased this item. Okay, where did they come from? Their source was Google PPC. Okay, I noticed that that group has Google PPC. So all of a sudden you narrow down and have this really specific cohort. And depending on the campaigns you're running, you can say, okay, I'm going to target those people from the United States that come in through Google PPC. I'm going to target them with Google PPC ads that are related to pink fuzzy chairs because I know I had a cohort of audience. So you start very high level, start to deduce trends that you're noticing between, and then all of a sudden you have this cohort that you can provide a very targeted experience for. That also goes to personalization on the website too. I think that's also something that's key to note here is as you start to learn more about different segments of your audience, you can start to personalize in a way that really matters. What's also keeps us busy and all in a job is that once you have it figured out, something's going to change. Some new product's going to be introduced. Your business is going to take a different strategy. You're going to introduce a new product line, and you have to do it all over again. So this is definitely not a segment once and be done. This is a segment regularly and see if those trends are holding true.
Awesome. So, Molly, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on and sharing all this lovely information about Lucky Orange. But if you have any questions for Molly, please drop them in the chat or head over to Lucky Orange's booth. And I'll see you in the next session with our partners at Locate.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.